Hi, everyone. I'm just watching that countdown that you guys all just saw, and I feel like I'm about to do a news show, but there's no news down here that anyone wants to hear about, really. Anyways, how's everyone's weekend? I know we don't normally do Monday night, and I hope you're all home from work. It's an early one tonight, but we wanted to get an extra couple of shows in this week, so we're doing Monday night. We finished in time for you to head back across and watch the Kicks live at 7 o'clock. And tonight I've got Aaron Darcy joining me. He's just released a single, and I'm sure most of you have probably already heard it, but we're going to welcome him into the room and have a chat to him about his new single. Hi, wrong person. Hello, Beck. We will try for Aaron next. She moved.
Hi,
People moved. Beck closed her window and then it moved your position.
Hi, Danny. How's it going?
Hi, how you going? Beck's feed froze and she closed it up and it moved your window, so I can see that. Anyways, Beck is back at house doing all our different all our comments and all our funny things, because clearly she's much better at it than I am. Oh, thank you for joining us.
Some stories.
I'm sorry, we were going to have you on the show last week, and then I lost power, and you had a storm as well. The weather set. Yeah, you're in Melbourne, aren't you? You're in Victoria.
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne. Yeah. So we're all locked up inside, and so we're all pretty safe and sound.
Safe and sound, doing not much.
Nothing, actually. Except recording in here and making new tunes.
Yes, well, I said to you earlier, you've had all this time to get that studio perfectly lined up for the cameras, and you've done a great job. You can just see.
Yeah.
Now, in amongst all this being locked in your house, you've managed to have some time to release some new music on Friday. How did that all go for you? Number 3 on.
It was you've got to sort of make the best of a bad situation, really. So having no gigs and no work and nothing to do, so it was a good opportunity to sort of sit down and write some songs and record them, and it was great period. So I got a little grant from Creative Victoria, so they helped out as well, and I sat in here and got to work.
Excellent. Well, lucky that you can do that from home. Lucky that you can.
Oh. Yes, it's very lucky. So this is what I do for a living anyway. So it's just a normal day.
Normal day. I was going to ask, what do you do when you're not performing? You are a full-time musician doing music all the time. So do you normally work from home?
Yeah, I do a lot of sound for TV. So I'm in here quite a fair bit, mixing and making ads and mixing lots of different things.
Sounds very exciting. Now, before we go on talking about Better Day, I haven't had you on the show before, and I wanted to go back, touch base of how you got into the music industry. Tell us a bit about how, because you were very young when you started in music. Tell us a bit about how you got into music and why.
Well, look, I've always been playing music since I was a little kid, really. My dad was a drummer, so, as a little kid, I'd be out the back in the shed watching him rehearse with his bands, and any opportunity I could go and help set up, and as a little kid I'd be carrying stuff out of the trailer and setting up PAs and things like that as I got older. So that's probably sort of how I was introduced, and we always had a broad cross section of music, everything from country to rock to anything you can name, really. So it was a good sort of introduction into music, really.
Yeah.
And then I started writing music for TV, which was a really cool thing. So writing for ads and documentaries and things like that. I worked for Lonely Planet for a fair while, writing all their music. And then sort of I was playing in a sort of folk rock band here in Melbourne, and sort of had some country songs, and I thought, well, why don't I just record these by myself? So that's sort of how I got into the country scene.
So and how do you find that? It's obviously you go from writing such different things. How do you find writing the country music? Is that something that you just enjoy and that's why you've had them sitting there, those songs?
Yeah, yeah, I love like I've always sort of, been brought up in the country and um, love country music, and I suppose the thing that really appeals to me in country music is the storytelling and the songwriting. Like they're sort of real songs, whereas pop music today is sort of the songs are quite different to what a traditional song is. So um, I love the storytelling and um, you know getting out and playing really.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. That's why I think I like the country genre as it is. It's that
Mhm.
storytelling. I know Gail O'Neill and Dave have just popped in to say happy release, mate.
Yeah, thank
Guys,
you.
hope you guys are doing well. We had Gail on the show a few weeks back for her
Mhm.
release as well.
That's great.
Now, tell us a bit about Better Days. I know you've. What's the reason you've released Better Day now? Is it something you've been sitting on for a little while?
Well, look, it was something that a friend of mine introduced me to his band member who was writing some sort of country-ish songs, and he said, "Oh, you should meet Aaron." So he came over for a coffee and had a whole pile of songs, and we sort of sat down, and I was pretty nervous to meet him and have him show me some songs. He's Cameron Muncie, who's the guitarist from Jet and one of the main songwriters. So it was all pretty exciting, and so we sat down. He played some songs, and then he had a couple of lines of Better Day, and I went, "Oh, that sounds really good. Why don't we finish that?" So over a session, we sort of got most of it down, and then went away and then finished it in another session. And he sat here and played guitar and sang some backing vocals for me. And then I filled in the gaps pretty much. And it was just before we hit lockdown. So I had his parts and then I could go away while we are in lockdown
Yeah,
and work on it. So, yeah, and I was very lucky to have Mark Wilson from Jet play bass on it, and Emily Tahini, who your viewers might know, she sang some backing vocals, and Tim Fry plays some pedal steel on it. So, the
fantastic.
beauty of the internet that people can send stuff backwards and forwards, and I can sit here and mix it. It's great.
Yes. You don't have to see a single person.
Hardly ever. Not anymore. We're not allowed to do that.
No, not anymore. No,
Mm.
I'm lucky down here. I still can occasionally see the odd person. We've just had Thomas pop in and write you a comment. He said, "Wishing
Hi,
you a lot
Tom.
of success with your single and your music. All the best. Greetings from Germany." Thomas from Country Coffee and Conversation on Radio, Country Road 58.
Yeah, I had a great chat to Thomas the other day. So that was
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. He's a great guy and a Johnny Cash fan. So we're both Johnny Cash
Oh,
fans. So that was good.
lovely. No, that was something I wanted to ask you is what are
Mm.
your country influences and I guess you've got that broad range of music, but what are your country?
My country influences, like I was sort of brought up when I was younger. There was always the bushwhackers playing in the in the yard, and um, Dad was a really big John Williamson fan. So we'd be singing John Williamson in the back of the car on the road trips a lot. Um, and got to see him play a few times. And then yeah, Johnny Cash is just he's probably my biggest influence because he's got a little bit of that rock element. He's got that attitude, and he doesn't look like he takes a lot of crap really, and it's just his songs are all so cool, and even the last stuff he did, the American recordings, which is probably my favorite stuff that he did with Rick Rubin. Um, it's just amazing. So
I
yeah,
think
he's a very big influence, and more becomes a bigger influence.
absolutely. I think the thing with Johnny Cash is he did what he loved, he enjoyed it, and he didn't really care if you did or didn't like it. He just did what he wanted to do, and I
Yeah.
think that's why it worked for him so well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's important, you know, you can get too hung up on, you know, "Oh, who's gonna like this? Am I doing the right style?" I mean, you just gotta be who you are and do what you do, and hopefully people like it, and if they don't, well, you know, just keep going.
Yeah, so you're not
Yeah.
gonna get everyone to like it, and that doesn't matter
Oh,
because,
definitely not, definitely
you
not.
know, you do what you love and you're not gonna go wrong, I don't think.
Yeah.
Have you got any more singles that you've been planning to release this year? I know
Yes,
sort of.
it's gonna be a busy, busy year, so, I've pretty much finished an album, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna release a single every month.
Wow.
So, you know, I submitted the next single today. So it's quite weird to be promoting Better Day and working on the next single at the same time. So that'll be out, and you know, you have to stay tuned and you know, follow me on Spotify and iTunes and Facebook, and you'll find out when that's coming.
Yes.
And then every month, on just end of the month, I'm going to release another single. So it's going to be plenty of tunes up till January, and hopefully an album in January, or you know, an album launch at Tamworth. So we'll see
That
how
would
we go.
be. I think it sounds like you're going to be a regular on Country Kickback between now and Tamworth.
Oh, more than happy to be. More than happy to be.
We'll definitely, if you manage to get that launch in Tamworth, we'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Well,
Talking
it's
about
booked in, so fingers crossed. If we can get into the state,
yeah.
we'll be there for sure.
Yes, absolutely. You've got to be allowed out of your house, let alone out of the state,
Yeah.
before that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Did you have a year of touring planned before lockdown? Was you planning on being out on the road a bit more this year? What was your
Yeah,
original
look,
plan?
I had some really great gigs booked that hadn't even been announced yet. So I
Yeah.
think it was like the first weekend in March or the second weekend in March, so the phone just kept ringing and ringing. And I was like, I didn't want to answer the phone anymore
Yeah.
because it was just people cancelling everything.
No.
But, you know, there were sort of headlining spots at Fed Square down in Melbourne, and we were supposed to be in Adelaide for October,
Oh,
South Australia, playing there. Had to cancel a gig at the Barossa, which was really
oh,
disappointing.
yes.
Um, so yeah, look, there's been a lot, and you know, it's just I don't know when to book gigs again.
Yeah.
Probably won't be till next year now, I suppose.
No.
But there's definitely a festival show booked, and fingers crossed that happens.
Fingers crossed next year
Mm,
get out there and we can all get, but if we can't dance, well, that is not going to be great. But look, at
yeah.
least we can get out there and listen to some music. Jason
Oh,
has just said hi. So hi Jason, thank you for joining.
Jason, how are you?
But yeah, it'd be great to be able to get out and just I went out 2 weekends ago. I'm not going to say it was this weekend. It feels like it was this weekend because I'm still
Yeah.
tired from it, you know. Not used to it anymore. But I went to karaoke and everyone had to sit down. We weren't allowed to stand up and walk around and dance, and it was really strange, but it was still better than not being
Oh,
out. So,
exactly.
you know, we'll take that if we can get that. We'll take it.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, and a big, you know, Tamworth could be quite manageable, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
doable as long as we can leave the state. That'd be good. So
Yes,
fingers crossed.
absolutely. Fingers crossed.
Fingers
So
crossed.
you were saying that you've finished the album and you're planning on doing that next year.
Mhm.
Was that your plan all along, or have you had to change that as well?
Look, it's changed a lot. Like I think um I was probably planning to release in January, but having so much time, I've just finished it really early. So
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be normally releasing so many singles back to back to back, but I think it's going to be fun. I think it will give, you know, people a lot to listen to and a lot of variety. And by the time the album comes along and the shows come along, that you know everybody will know the words. Hopefully, so it's going to be exciting just to keep pumping out music.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's great. I love that idea. Have you been doing any lives on Facebook or YouTube or anything for people?
Not so much, not so much. I've just been busy in the studio really, and just writing and playing and just recording. So haven't really done that. Not terribly interested in doing that,
Yeah.
to be honest. But I mean, yeah, it's been quite popular and successful for a lot of people. So it's
Yes.
been good.
And what about merch? Have you got any merch available at the moment that people can look
There
at?
is there's a Bandcamp page which has all my stuff. So there's hats and t-shirts and vinyl and CDs and heaps of that. You can go to my Facebook page, Aaron Darcy Music, and there's a link there, shop now, and it'll take you
Excellent.
straight there.
So when we're finished and before you join Kicks this evening,
Yeah.
jump onto Aaron's Facebook page, give it a like, and have a look at his shop. I don't know how you're going to get it posted at the moment, but
We're allowed to go to the post office, so that's
right.
allowed to go to the post office. So that's
You're allowed,
right.
you're allowed to walk,
I can
so you can walk to the post office. Oh, it's a good time to jump over and have a look before your next album comes out, I guess. It can, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So next for you, you've got music available is all on Spotify, iTunes, all the
sites. So it's on iTunes. You can download it or jump on Spotify. Give me a follow on Spotify so you get all the notifications and all the new tracks, because there's going to be so much happening this year.
That is actually a really important one, because a lot of people don't realize that they can do that on Spotify. You can actually follow the artist, and you can there's a little heart next to the songs, and if you click on that as well, then that also helps with that sort of thing. I think people are still figuring those things out with Spotify.
I think so, and I think people are realizing that Spotify is a bit more like social media than an iTunes store or a record shop. So there's a lot you can do, and just by following is a big help, and it will alert you to every song that comes out.
Exactly, and playlists also help artists a lot on Spotify too.
Yeah.
Making your own playlist and popping your favorite artists or your favorite songs into that playlist actually really helps get you guys onto other playlists that Spotify release as well. So there are a lot of things that you guys can do to help out through Spotify and YouTube as well. If you give that a like, it helps out as well a lot.
And on YouTube, the film clip came out today, so that was very exciting. So jump onto YouTube and you can watch the new music video that we filmed all on our phones, and I filmed in my lounge room.
In your lounge room?
In my lounge room on my phone. So, it was quite fun. It was one of those things that I had to replan the film clip about 3 times due to lockdowns. And, first of all, it was going to be a band with a full crew, and that got cancelled. And then we said, we'll have a small crew at my house, and then that got cancelled. And then I went, well, I'm still going to do it. So I just pulled out my phone and we filmed it on the phones.
See, I love this. I think that makes more, it's more creative. It's more fun. We get to see different sides of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just make it the style of the video clip. And, watching CMT, for example, so many phone film clips at the moment. So it's all the rage.
It is. All anyone can do. It's all we can do. It's great. Yeah. Well, I know you guys, we last Monday we did a show and we went over time because Kicks go live now, I think. So, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Anytime. I know Beck has you on a list for your next single, so we'll have you back again very soon, hopefully. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We will be back on Thursday. Let me turn my page and work out. I think we've got Benny Allen coming on this Thursday. So he's also another Victorian stuck in lockdown, I think. So
he's well worth tuning in for. He's a great guy. So
absolutely. So thank you very much, Aaron. And guys, we will see you on Thursday. Head over and like Aaron's page and then jump onto the Kicks page and listen to their live tonight because they've got a lot going on.